Hello, what is up, friends? Today, the EV tax credit that we've just spent so much time talking about on this channel finally gets a little life breathed, punched, whatever you want to call it. It's been revitalized. We finally have a glimmer of hope of maybe a new EV tax credit to look forward to soon. So if you remember, we've talked a lot about a $12,500 EV tax credit that was, well, like this close from being passed to replace our old current EV tax credit. And we tracked it pretty closely with a bunch of videos on this channel here. And right up down to the end, Joe Manchin, the gentleman that shut down Joe Biden's Build Back Better, the EV tax credit was bundled in there. And long story short, it just did not go through and it disappeared for a while. However, today, well, actually a couple days ago, I got word via a video on Now You Know. They're another YouTube channel, mostly Tesla focused, but they do a lot of other cool EV stuff. They had a great interview with someone to talk about where they're at with the progress of a new EV tax credit to kind of take that replace. And apparently Joe Manchin's ready to play ball, which is awesome news for a new tax credit. So that was a great video. Of course, I'll have that linked below for all the nitty gritty details. They're actually giving away a Rivian R1T as a part of building, awareness and hype around this and getting people to call their senators to make an EV tax credit a priority. So the number is on the screen now if you want to participate, as well as a link in the description if you want to be eligible to win that Rivian, which helps support this group that is pushing forward the EV tax credit bill where it stands now. So a lot of good stuff there. However, what are we talking about today, right? So the heart of this is, well, why again do we need this new EV tax credit versus the current one? And what's changed? What can we expect from a new tax credit? We're going to get into all that. But first, of course, I do have to ask if you are new to the channel or if you watch a lot of my videos or even some and, you want to help me grow a little bit. It would be great if you could click the subscribe button. This is the thing I'm asking for now because it has been really helping me. I've been able to, just in the last month, I think I've got about 1,000 new people. Views haven't gone up or anything, but the actually new people started subscribing and actually clicking that button. And what that has resulted to is actually a lot of cool opportunities. I have things lined up where I'll be having more EVs and plug-in hybrid cars to review firsthand, for instance. So things like that come with you being able to push that subscribe button. Again, I hate being the typical YouTube guy of asking for that, but it really does help me, give the opportunity to share cooler stuff on this channel. So with that being said, please click subscribe. If not, again, do your thing. Anyway, let's move on. So the first thing I want to address is, why do we need a tax credit in general, or let alone a new EV tax credit? And I think this is worth diving into real quick, just because I just way too much read comments on my channel along the lines of you guys saying like, well, if you need an EV tax credit, you shouldn't be buying the car, or tax credits are just going to the rich people who are already buying an expensive car anyway. And now, while I don't disagree that there's probably some truth to both of those statements, it's bigger than that. And in fact, so much has changed since when that first tax credit was put into place to now. I mean, when that first one started, think about how expensive EVs were. That was pretty true, actually. Like, you were just buying Teslas or some, a very few other options. But now there's things like, the Chevy Bolt and the Kia Niro that are only $30,000 or in that range. And, not to mention this helps for plug-in hybrids too, which are also in that price range and are pretty affordable, actually. I mean, it's still a little expensive, but that's exactly what the tax credit does. It takes those $30,000 to $40,000, heck, even the Mustang Mach-E, like those are in the $30,000 to $40,000, tier. And if we get something like a $10,000 tax credit, that makes it like a high competitor against, its ICE rivals, its non-electric rivals in the segment. You could actually have more consumers weighing a EV versus whatever they were already going to pick out, because it's now in that price range. So that's something really cool that could happen when we get a nice EV tax credit in place. And that trickles down. I mean, the more EVs that manufacturers start to sell, they see the popularity. They then focus more of their resources into making them more affordable, producing more of them, and cutting costs in general. So the big goal is getting these manufacturers to put more resources and drive the cost down of these EVs and make them just a normal thing and not just like an elusive, expensive luxury car. We want them to just, have normal car versions. So speaking of that old tax credit and why it kind of sucks is there is a 200,000 vehicle sale limit per manufacturer. So that means when Tesla sold 200,000 vehicles, Tesla no longer was eligible to give the tax credit to the people buying their vehicles. So they've hit it, Chevy's hit it, or GM rather, and Ford is like this close to hitting it. So many people are getting close. Like this tax credit is running out faster than, and probably by the end of this year, we're going to see a lot more manufacturers hitting this limit, and it's just going to go away. So we won't have anything in place. So, I mean, if we just wanted it to, phase out, that's one thing, but I think we really probably want a new tax credit in place and one that makes more sense. And speaking of making sense, that leads into my second issue with the current tax credit. And it's that the way you claim it is on your taxes, which, it's a tax credit, right? Well, it's fine as is, but this new credit will actually make it more of a point of sale credit, which is just so much better for obvious reasons. Literally, just deducting it off the MSRP. So let's say we had a $10,000 tax credit and you're buying a $50,000 EV. It is now just a $40,000 EV that you need to, either buy or get financed or whatever you're doing. So that's pretty great, especially because if we're talking about making these more affordable to everyday people, if you're banking on that tax credit and you're buying an EV in like January or February, you're putting all that money as like a down payment or whatever into your EV, and then you won't get the current tax credit as it sits back until you do the taxes at the end of the year or in the next year. So this point of sale credit that's proposed or part of this new EV tax credit could really help a lot more people buy an EV. Not to mention just like the way less tax, complications and having to figure things out. Like it's like literally when you buy right now when you buy an EV, you have homework. Like, I mean, I guess it's worth it because you get $7,500, but it's still stuff you have to do that, why make it more complex? I know why they'd make it more complex. It's so people forget about it probably, but let's not do that this time around. And now for, I guess, what I'm calling the bad news. So part of Joe Manchin being ready to play ball here, it's not looking like that full $12,500 that we were kind of excited about earlier will be part of this new tax credit. It's still up there. I think we're looking at between $8,000 and $10,000, which is, again, nothing to, sneeze at or whatever that expression is. In fact, it's still awesome. If it lands at even $8,000, that significantly takes these vehicles down a price range for a lot of people. That's a lot. And it's especially amazing because it's more than what we have now. So duh. But also, again, that point of sale, I mean, even if it stayed the same or down, but became point of sale, I think that's a win even. So I'll conclude this with a quick call to action to watch the video from the guys at Now You Know, which of course will be linked down below, and call your senator because we have a real chance of making something happen here if this is something you're passionate about. So it's a Sunday here right now, but Monday morning, you bet I'll make a quick call, and I hope you guys do too. And if we play this perfectly right, us 2023 lightning orders, we could get a pretty sweet discount for that order. So let's make it happen, guys. And of course, we're going to stay on top of this here on my channel. So again, subscribe if this is something you're interested in, and we'll keep you up to date. And with that, I'm going to end the video and, of course, just say thank you guys for continuing to watch my channel. It's been so fun. I love making these videos. So again, I really appreciate it. I need to go to bed. Bye, guys.